Health Canada has approved Ozempic to reduce the risk of further kidney decline among patients with type 2 diabetes.
Between 30 and 50% of people with type 2 diabetes develop some form of chronic kidney disease. An international clinical trial showed that the risk of kidneys significantly deteriorating or failing was 24% lower in patients taking Ozempic compared to those taking a placebo injection.
Everywhere you look, people are talking about Ozempic.
And it has two brand names, Ozempic, which is licensed for diabetics, type 2 diabetics, and Wegovy, which is licensed for weight management.
Okay. Ozempic causes so much loose skin. That's right. There she is in all her glory, all that excess skin. Can you believe Ozempic did this? I really can, because Ozempic helped me lose 160 pounds.
The so-called miracle shot for weight loss. Celebrities swear by it, doctors prescribe it, and social media is full of before and after transformations. But hidden beneath the excitement is a side effect that's raising serious concerns about vision loss. How can a medication designed to control blood sugar and support weight loss end up harming something as vital as your eyesight? And why is this risk only now coming to light? Stay with me, because in this video, we're going to peel back the layers, look at the science, and uncover what doctors and researchers are finding out about the dark side of Ozempic. What regulators around the world are saying. While the US continues its review, Europe has moved faster.
I think these drugs could be very important for our economy and for health.
The European Medicines Agency, EMA, has already taken a firm stance. As reported by the Times of India,
Ozempic is now in India. Ozempic, the global blockbuster and one of the biggest names of drugs, forget just weight loss drugs, has officially now got the green light to enter the Indian market. India's drug regulators, CDSCO, has approved it, but not for weight loss. That's a headline, remember. Instead, the approval is for type 2 diabetes and also for reducing the risk of serious heart problems and even kidney damage.
The EMA officially listed Nayan as a very rare side effect of semaglutide, estimating it affects about 1 in 10,000 patients. The agency has since advised both patients and doctors to stay alert. For patients, this means seeking urgent medical help if they notice sudden dimming of vision, blurred eyesight, or dark spots. For doctors, it means closely monitoring individuals with high-risk conditions such as diabetes, high blood pressure, and sleep apnea. Why? Because these conditions already compromise circulation, and when Ozempic adds rapid blood sugar shifts into the mix, the optic nerve can be left vulnerable. In short, the EMA made it clear the risks are rare but real. Let's take a step back and see how all of this began. Ozempic, also called semaglutide, was first introduced in 2017. It belongs to a group of medicines known as GLP-1 receptor agonists. Its main job was to help people with type 2 diabetes keep their blood sugar under control and lower the risk of serious problems like stroke and heart attack. The way it worked was pretty clever. It acted like a natural hormone in the body, telling the pancreas to release insulin after meals. It also slowed down digestion and reduced appetite. Clinical trials showed strong results, and for a while, Ozempic was seen as a reliable treatment for diabetes. But then something unexpected started happening. Patients began losing a lot of weight fast. What was once considered a side effect quickly became the main reason people wanted the drug. Celebrities mentioned it in passing, influencers dropped hints about their secret injections, and soon Ozempic was everywhere. Pharmacies struggled to meet the demand, and sometimes diabetic patients, the ones who needed it most, went home without their medicine. Doctors were divided. On one side, many were glad that obesity, a major cause of countless diseases, finally had a treatment option that worked. But on the other side, a troubling trend was forming. People without diabetes or severe obesity were rushing to get prescriptions just for quick weight loss. And it was during this surge of popularity that the warnings began to surface. While many celebrated their shrinking waistlines, doctors started reporting something alarming: sudden and in some cases permanent vision loss. the shocking truth about sudden vision loss. Then came the reports no one expected. For months, Ozempic had been hailed as a wonder drug, praised for its role in controlling blood sugar and celebrated for its dramatic weight loss effects. But soon, whispers of something far more troubling began to surface. Patients started sharing stories that sounded almost unbelievable, waking up one morning to discover they could no longer see out of one eye. What made these accounts so terrifying was the suddenness. There were no early warning signs, no headaches, no pain, no gradual blurring of vision. Instead, it was as if the lights had been switched off overnight. Perfectly normal vision the night before, and by sunrise, irreversible darkness in one eye. Doctors began to investigate, and the culprit was identified as a rare but devastating condition called non-arteritic anterior ischemic optic neuropathy, NAION, often referred to as an eye stroke. The science behind it is chilling. The optic nerve, the vital cable that carries visual information from the eye to the brain, relies on a delicate blood supply. In NAION, the blood flow becomes blocked, starving the nerve of oxygen. Once deprived, the optic nerve suffers permanent damage, and unlike other parts of the body, nerve tissue doesn't regenerate. The result? Irreversible blindness, with no treatment or cure. But NAION wasn't the only concern. Media outlets such as the New York Post reported that patients taking GLP-1 drugs like semaglutide were also developing other optic nerve disorders, ranging from NAION-like symptoms to papillitis and paracentral acute maculopathy. This suggested that the risks weren't limited to a single condition, but could involve multiple pathways to vision loss. Health publications, including Medical News Today, also covered a groundbreaking 2024 study in JAMA Ophthalmology that highlighted a strong association many experts feared. The research showed that patients taking semaglutide, the active ingredient in Ozempic, were several times more likely to develop NAION compared to those not on the drug. Even more concerning, most of these cases appeared within the very first year of treatment, pointing to a critical window of risk. The numbers themselves were staggering. Across the United States, reports of patients experiencing permanent vision loss, possibly linked to Ozempic, began to surface in growing numbers. For a drug once celebrated as the miracle shot, this was the kind of news no one wanted to hear.
When I tell you that a bunch of people told y'all this was going to happen, we truly told y'all this was going to happen. There's even people who have gone blind. They cannot see anymore because they started taking this miracle substance. And after hearing about it, I'm starting to now wonder if this is why so many different celebrities are all coming down with a bunch of these different seemingly random diseases. What if it's not so random? What if it's because they've been taking
early warnings doctors couldn't ignore? The first red flags came from eye hospitals. At Mass Eye and Ear Hospital in Boston, doctors were alarmed when, in the span of a single week, 3 separate patients arrived with NAION. All 3 had one thing in common. They were taking semaglutide. When researchers dug deeper into patient records, the numbers were startling. As CNN Health reported, diabetic patients on semaglutide were 4 times more likely to develop NAION, while those taking it for obesity had a 7-fold risk. Considering NAION is already the second leading cause of optic nerve blindness after glaucoma, this wasn't something doctors could brush aside. Pharmaceutical giant Novo Nordisk, the maker of Ozempic, has pushed back, saying causation is not yet fully established. But with so many cases stacking up, the medical community is treating these warnings very seriously. The FDA has already begun reviewing safety data and evaluating whether updated warnings are needed. The human cost behind the numbers. Statistics can sound distant, but the reality of vision loss is deeply personal. Patients have described the shock of going to bed with normal eyesight and waking up unable to see from one eye. For professionals whose careers depend on sharp vision, pilots, drivers, surgeons, it has meant the sudden end of livelihoods. For others, it meant losing independence, no longer being able to drive, cook safely, or walk without assistance. The emotional toll is just as devastating. Depression, regret, and feelings of betrayal are common among those who say they were never warned about this possibility. Families, too, are left struggling as loved ones adjust to permanent disability. And this isn't just a Western issue. In countries like Pakistan, Ozempic often bypasses strict regulations. Imported through unofficial channels, it sells for exorbitant prices, sometimes 25,000 to 50,000 Pakistani rupees per injection. Social media influencers glamorize it, young professionals seek quick fixes, and with little medical supervision, the risks multiply. Behind every number lies a story, and for some, Ozempic's story has ended in darkness. Balancing benefits and risks. Let's be clear, Ozempic isn't just a bad drug. For people living with type 2 diabetes, it can be life-changing. It helps control blood sugar, lowers the risk of heart problems, and can even add years to someone's life. For those struggling with severe obesity, it often improves mobility, reduces blood pressure, and lowers the chances of issues like fatty liver disease or sleep apnea. But like any powerful medicine, Ozempic comes with a price. And for some, that price has been devastating: permanent vision loss. That's why doctors and researchers are urging people to look at both sides carefully. Chasing fast weight loss without thinking about long-term risks can have serious consequences. Many experts now advise regular eye checkups for anyone using Ozempic and to seek medical help immediately if any changes in vision appear. The truth is, staying informed, asking your doctor the right questions, and not blindly following social media trends could make the difference between improving your health and losing something as precious as your eyesight. Ozempic may look like a miracle, but even miracles come with shadows. Yes, it can transform blood sugar and weight, but blindness can transform life in the opposite direction. So before jumping on the hype, take a step back and think. Health isn't about quick wins, it's about long-term balance and safety. If this video opened your eyes to the bigger picture, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Stay smart, stay cautious, and always put your health first. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.